Let's get it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Flaeva Show here, and we've got a very special guest for you all and excited to hear all his stories about what he's doing and what he's up to. But first, let me take you to the man who's got a plan to say a few words about our esteemed guest.
Hang on, let me open up my phone. Okay, we go.
Oh, he's not ready. Let me say it again.
I'm ready. Born ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a former water polo contender for Balmain. Is that correct?
Balmain Tigers.
For Balmain Tigers, and now strength and conditioning coach for the Olympic team.
Aussie Sharks.
For the Aussie Sharks. He had his own gym specializing in TRX rope training. He's online for health and fitness knowledge and has his own podcast talking about health and training, from feet to meditation, spine, glute recovery, and even a chat with former performance coach of Formula One driver Daniel Ricciardo. It's Marin Lazic. Lazic.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me. Lazic. But if you want to go full Serb, I was born in Serbia. Lazic. So for the Serbian audience.
There we go. Maz
will do as well.
Just call him Maz.
Wow, what a... Mate, that's incredible.
Do you know how to rewind that?
Shake it.
Okay, there we go.
And then undo.
Oh, thank you.
But it's still not there.
Didn't
What do you do?
Doesn't matter.
It's done.
It's fine.
All your accolades are out.
It's gone.
Done. Locked in.
Yeah. Mate, that's some achievements there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a long journey, I guess. And a lot of good things, a few bad ones, lots of learnings. But yeah, it's been good. Positive.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm keen to get into it. Like, we were just having a chat before off camera, just getting into not even the thick of it all. Like, we were just touching the surface. But I've got a lot of questions about water polo. I've never played. Have you played?
Do I look like I've played water polo before?
Not right now. Not right now. Marin, would you hire this man for a water polo team?
Mate, centre forward, some of the Greeks and Italians, they're pretty big boys.
There we go.
There you go.
You're a chance. New rules as well in water polo. Usually it's playing a 30-metre pool. But like this year, they're going to trial 25-metre pool. So less swimming.
There we go. Yeah, that's
It
right
sounds
up
like
my
your
alley.
name's built for it, mate.
Yeah, mate.
All right, we've got
Less work.
All right, Marin, before we get into all of it, or Maz, we've got a first four. It's like a first four icebreaker, just to see how you're going. So off the top of your head, let's go with, what did you struggle with today?
Today, let me think. Probably, it wasn't really a struggle, or maybe it is a struggle. I had too much coffee today.
How many?
I was a bit, I had 4 strong lattes. So it was a bit jittery. So I guess the struggle was not coffee, it was more the jitters.
Yeah, okay.
After. Usually I can handle my caffeine, but today I was
Didn't have
struggling.
enough water.
That's probably what it is, yeah.
Do you know how many coffees Nick has a day?
I'm going to guess.
Okay.
He'll probably have, you look like just straight coffee.
I'm just a short black guy, yeah. Single shot at a time.
I'm going to give you 6, 8, 12. So was it one every half an hour or one every...
I start my first one at 5 a.m. and I'll probably finish at 3.
Yeah.
So what's that? One every half an hour.
I mean, the caffeine is a performance enhancer. So,
It is?
yeah. So
There we go. That's why I'm on the ball all the time, ladies and gentlemen.
that's it. So it's good.
I'm always going.
Oh, coffee jitters are real, but hey.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And
they're
you know
pretty-
it's happening, so you'd be like, yeah.
how long does it take you to calm down from one?
Probably say a couple of hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
so-
pretty long calm down.
Yeah.
Far
Yeah.
out. Are yours that bad? Sorry to cut you off.
I don't get jitters anymore.
Oh, you're immune.
I'm immune. That's it. Maybe if I have 13. They'll all kick in at once.
All right. Last song you listened to, Maz?
Actually, it was Eye of a Tiger. Just ran. I usually don't listen to music. I usually podcasts in the car or audiobooks. But what was I listening to? Eye of a Tiger. Can't remember. I think I was looking for like a Rocky greatest best of, and then I'm gonna flick to Eye of a Tiger. So
Yeah. Beauty. What a song. That's a great song.
yeah,
It's a good running song.
yeah.
Speaking from experience?
From experience.
Yeah?
Back in my fit days.
All right. No. What about November Rain?
Nah, too slow.
Too slow?
Too slow.
Long as well.
Yeah, long.
Long, yeah.
Very long song. All right. Eye of the Tiger for the Tigers. Netflix and chill, or movies at the cinemas?
Netflix and chill.
Okay.
You'll never get that.
There will be one person that says movies and cinemas.
So
That's,
the movie's just too long these days. it's like he just previews. It's like a 4 hours.
I know.
And one thing, it's a bit weird about me. I'm not sure if you guys got the same thing. I always used to hate going to the movies in the daylight and it coming out at night. So I always used to mess around with me. I used to feel really out of it.
Because you're in the dark. It makes sense.
Yeah, but like it feels like you lost a whole day.
Yeah.
So it's like
I got the same trip. Like
Yeah.
that was trippy for a bit. But mate, the movies, the seats, the popcorn, it's overpriced, but like...
The popcorn's good. The movies.
And then the drinks there on the filtered tap.
You don't even get a frozen Coke, so don't go there.
surround sound.
Surround sound.
Surround sound's good.
That's right. So, all right, we'll go one day.
But how good's your couch?
Yeah. And you can doze off and like...
No,
it's-
that's it.
That's true.
You don't have to get up and leave.
You have to be
That's
pretty locked in at the cinemas.
That's what
like
I mean.
you're paying for it, right?
And once you're committed, you're committed. You can't change. You can't back out.
Yeah, that's a new thing now. People will give it half an hour and then...
Have you,
Oh, really?
But if the movie's a shocker, you got to...
yeah, have you ever walked out of the movie?
No, I don't think I have. You?
Nah, too much of a wuss. I don't know. Like, it's no one to impress, but you just feel a bit guilty.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty
You
frowned
don't
upon.
upset someone.
It's pretty
Yeah.
frowned upon. Like,
It's going to be a bad movie to walk out. You know, like, because you haven't seen the movie, so you don't know if it's going to get better.
that's right.
So why would you walk out? If it's a movie, then you'll say shit at the end.
But how busy... You dedicated time to watch that movie. So what have you got on to walk out? Like, you must be a big shot.
That or the movie really sucks in the first 30 minutes, hour, whatever it is.
Yeah, but that's bold. You're the one person just walking out of that cinema. No one will remember you, I guess.
But then you could be the first one and the crowd will follow. You
That's
could be-
true.
Oh,
You could be a trendsetter. You just go to the next cinema.
I thought he was just going to the toilet. It's been half an hour. Let's go.
All right, and last one, Maz, you're on death row. You need to build a table of what your last meal is going to be. It can be like an entree, main, dessert. So go hard.
Last meal.
It doesn't even have to be in that order. You can do dessert first if you
Yeah,
like.
it's your last meal.
Okay. I think I'm just going to go pizza. Just good Daviola pizza.
Oh, what a pizza.
Just going to keep it simple. Enjoy it. Smash the whole thing and just take me to the chair or injection or whatever.
Yeah.
That's it. Just the pizza. Nothing
Happy?
else?
No, I'm happy.
Jeez, the prison will love you. What a
Yeah, that's
what
it.
an easy order.
Well, also, like, you got to think, right? If you get to the chair, you don't want to be bloated, right? You also want to, because they look at you and stuff, so you don't want to be, out of sorts.
No, who cares? You
First
got-
guest
that's-
to ever say that.
that
That
is-
is cracker. That
That's
is
cracker, but like, you're going to die. Who cares?
Yeah, but you want to be respectful as well. Like,
Nah, fuck it. They're killing me, man. I want to blow up and all my pizza go all over them.
yeah, I just want to, you got to think about people that are doing the job. They don't want to be there.
Nah, fuck
wow.
mate,
This
mate.
is the nicest guy on the podcast
tell you
right
what.
now. The great guy, Maz. Wow, shout out.
Look good going in, look good going out.
I hope this podcast doesn't add 10 hours. We're done. Like you didn't eat before, Maz. You're right. He's prime. All right. Well, we'll see if anyone else does that going forward.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's a good point.
I like that.
So you obviously take care of yourself, is what you're saying.
I try to take care of myself. I think about others, So
That's it.
I
Good on
like
ya.
to service people. So, I get happy making other people happy. So
What a
if
guy.
If I'm gonna die, I might as well just help someone else.
And you know what? He'll have the best death because he'll be comfortable.
Yeah.
He's doing everything in his.
That's it.
And also the guys will talk about you, right? So you're gonna be remembered.
This
as
is
well.
this is the longest we've spoken about the last meal on the podcast.
Well,
And
there you go.
This sounds like the Green Mile. You seen the
Well,
Green
yeah,
Mile?
yeah.
This is the nicest guy ever, and they kill him.
isn't that the guy who's like big dude?
The huge guy, yeah.
Magic powers.
What's the main actor's name?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, yeah.
Tom Hanks.
There you go. Crack up, mate. First four done. What a
Thank you.
performance.
Bit of pressure.
It was,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that was
Yeah,
good.
off the top. We never think about it because it's like, we know it's coming. So
Yeah, we're just expecting the table to be built. There's going to be all these different dishes.
we
I
get
start
hungry.
getting hungry, yeah.
Oh, smashed it, mate. So before we get into obviously those great accolades, just want to talk about, I see the whoop. Do you swear by it?
Look, I like data, and I guess one of my core values as a coach is, what gets measured gets managed. So I don't like guessing. So Whoop's been a really good tool for me to, not just for me, for people I train, is to just kind of, see where you're at, see where you need to go, and then also see if those protocols work for you. So like all three of us are different. Magnesium might be really good for you, but not so good for me. And if you don't test, well, you don't know. So I like it. It keeps me accountable as well. So I guess the weird thing for me is I know if I have Indian foods, I like Indian food, butter chicken, it won't be a good sleep. So now it's like, I guess if I didn't have it, I'd be quite happy to, rip into some Indian. But now I'm like, I want to protect my sleep. So you kind of make more healthier choices. So it keeps me accountable. You can, if something's not trending well, you can pick it up hopefully earlier before it happens. So it's been a good tool. I'm a big fan of measuring. So data.
That's insane. So like with that butter chicken, how many times did you eat it before sleep to know?
Look, I tested it a few times. So it's probably, I reckon, between 3 to 4 times. But I also I guess as a coach, I do like testing on myself. So I do like doing the weird tests. So one of the things I used to do during COVID actually was the weird, the glucose monitor, CGM. And sort of, do you guys know what it is, CGM?
No.
So glucose monitor is basically a needle you put in the back of your arms. Diabetics wear it. So you'll see people with...
and then they tap it.
Tap it, right?
Okay,
so it tells you your blood glucose, or your blood sugar spiking. So if your blood sugar's up high all the time, you're kind of on the way to diabetes. But now you can also use to see, when your spikes are, when your drops are. So for sometimes, you might have this like crazy spike, and then you feel really terrible, you feel tired, you feel out of it. It probably means that you've got like a massive drop. So it can kind of guide you what you're eating and all the rest of it. But, usually when you buy them, you get 2 sensors. They're about the last 2 weeks each. So first 2 weeks, I used to just wear it and just live normally, see what happens. But then the second week, you do stuff. So like, okay, I'm going to eat pizza before bed and see what happens. I'm going to have dark chocolate. And pro tip, dark chocolate blunts your blood glucose as well. So you start experimenting yourself and all the rest of it. So butter chicken, I gave it a, good 3 or 4 guys because I do like it. And
once more for good luck too.
Yeah. That's right.
Butter chicken, it's good.
It's crack a meal. Right, where does I guess we're kind of getting into it, but a lot of people get told, MyFitnessPal, all these things about tracking and things like that. How many people percentage wise and the everyday person do you think actually does it well? Or like how hard is it to do well without your knowledge and what you've been through education wise to get to this level?
Yeah, good question. It is hard, right? I think it's hard because there's so much information out there and you can get so lost. So there's different diets and like people say this diet's the best, this diet's crap, whatever. And to be fair, there's nothing that's perfect. There's always trade-offs. Everyone's going to have a trade-off and we're all different. So your stress level will be different to mine. Your lifestyle's going to be different. So you just got to have to figure out what works for you, and that's the challenging piece, right? I'll do kind of challenge people though. Like there is going to be a point where you're going to have to sort of step up if you really care about your health. So you're going to have to go to a few pain points of measuring, figure out where you are, and then off you go. With nutrition, MyFitnessPal and those kind of food trackers, the analogy I use is if you don't want to track forever, that's fine, but it's a bit like when you go to a new city. When you go to a new city, you need a map. You need to map to see where you're going. But after a week or so, you don't really need a map. You kind of know where you're going. So it's kind of like nutrition's be the same. So you just need to figure out where you're at. I need to bump up my protein. I'm eating too many carbs. Tweak it. See what your perfect looks like. And you can pretty much cruise, right? But like for me personally, again, it's just like Whoop. I use a macro factor instead of MyFitnessPal. It's like a newish app. I like the interface better. I like using it every day because just again, it keeps me accountable. I know where I'm at. It feeds into my Apple Health. So I also know you discover things like fiber. Like I've just found out that I don't have enough fiber, even though I thought I was pretty good. So you kind of discover things. So I guess if you're using a map analogy, you discover new alleys or new traps, dead ends. So it's like, it's challenging, but you kind of have to step up, eventually if you care about your health.
100%, man. That's a great analogy. I love the map.
I have a theory.
Go.
So when I was younger, when I used to be fit, the keto diet started becoming a big trend.
Yes.
And it was like no carbs, no sugars. You shouldn't have sugars if you're trying to diet and lose weight and get in shape. But fats. And it was just like attack fats. But you remember me in my heyday and how serious I used to be with my meals?
Yeah.
Never had a fat in there whatsoever. No avocado. It was literally just carbohydrates, so rice,
Yeah.
or it was always rice, green veggies, steamed, and a protein,
Yeah.
which would most of the time just be chicken because it's easy. Then when I started hearing about the keto diet, I was like, this is polar opposite. So is mixing the fats and the carbohydrates what's not breaking down in your body properly and making you store fat and not burn energy?
So I'll go down to keto, right? So what keto is really good for is if you're diabetic. So if you're, and it's actually good that we spoke about blood glucose. If you're diabetic, ketogenic is kind of a diet to reverse your diabetes.
Because carbs break down into sugars.
Because carbs spike your blood glucose, which means you start producing insulin. So the ultimate goal of health is to be insulin sensitive. So it means that your body produces insulin, or what they call metabolically flexible. What it means is you can eat whatever you want. Your body's going to use it as fuel. So you can either use carbs or fat for fuel, right? So ketogenic diet is really good for reversing diabetes because fat does not spike your insulin. Carbs spike your insulin, and then protein just kind of half spikes it. So if you were diabetic, we'll be like, right, let's go straight on keto. And if you're kind of strict with keto for 12 weeks, you're probably going to get your blood glucose in control, your hormones and all the rest of it. Another thing that keto is good for, and again, like this is a bit of a like, I've got to be careful how I say this one, but like there are kind of a bit of evidence that ketogenic diet is good if you've got cancer. So cancer does like to feed on sugar and carbohydrates. So you're kind of trying to starve cancer away by just eating ketogenic diet, by just eating fat and protein. All right.
Yeah, right.
But that's the one that you got to be a little bit careful, right? So it's like...
Yeah, people jump on keto and they still end up dying.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not like... It's just, I guess, a theory. There is a bit of evidence about it, but yeah. So in terms of diets, there's not one perfect diet. It's just you have to choose a diet that works for you. Probably when it comes to what's most important is your protein. That's one that you want to be hitting. So if you want to talk numbers, generally 2 grams per kilogram body weight is a good protein number because protein is responsible for building muscle, building your connective tissue and all the rest of it.
2 grams per kilo of body weight.
Yeah.
So I need like 160 or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Which is on a high side, right? Now, 160 grams of protein, people kind of mix that up. It's so like 300 grams steak is 60 grams of protein. It's not 300 grams of protein.
300 grams of protein.
So like different things have different proteins. For most people, you're going to have to supplement. But we always say like, look, try to get most of your protein from eggs, steak, chicken, fish. Mix it up because everything's got their pros and cons. Ideally, you're not eating the same food all the time because that's not ideal either. You want to mix it up. And then you might have to smash a smoothie, like protein shake, which is usually about 30 grams.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So like where people get stuck is essentially it's a really simple formula. Reason why you put on fat is because you're just not burning enough energy and your body starts storing it. And that could be carbs, fat, could be protein as well. So you want to make sure you're burning more than you are putting in.
Yeah.
Of course.
So that's kind of like pretty simple thing though, because it is a little bit more complex. So you got to talk about like how much calories you're burning right now. Like what should they call it, BMR or basal metabolic rate? It's just like your heartbeat, your lungs, your blinking, just your muscle, like you are burning. And that's a really important number. It's like how many calories you're burning when you're just doing nothing. So he's trying to lose weight, and we just kind of go down a fat loss path. That's probably one thing you want to focus on first. Don't focus on how much exercise you're doing. Focus on getting your BMR right. If it's low, you want to boost it up. How do you boost it up? You want to build a lot of muscle, eat protein, walk, move around, all the rest of it. The amount of calories you burn through exercise is actually really small. It's like 5%. So when you start hammering yourself by not eating and just smashing cardio or exercise, you're just going to exhaust yourself, probably get hurt, and you're just going to get pretty over it pretty quickly. So
yeah, of course, boring.
So it's like I think that's probably 90% of people get it wrong. They just go like, I'm fat, I want to lose weight. So they stop eating, so they destroy their metabolism, their BMR. They miss out on heaps of macronutrients, food, all the good stuff. and they're just like hammering themselves on the cardio, running, CrossFit, whatever. Like, which is, I think it's old school and not really effective way to go about it.
Yeah, huge. Deep chat.
Really
There's just so much out there now that it's scary. You know what I mean? And especially, like, imagine someone who's got no idea about any of these starting out for the first time. It's daunting, man.
Well, yeah, it's your original question, right? It's like, it's hard. Like, there's nothing perfect, and there's a lot of, it depends, right? Like, if you're a tradie, well, you'll be totally different than someone that's sitting down in an office. Like, like a trader will get sun. He's probably moving a lot more, burning more energy. He probably needs to eat more to lose weight, like more protein and all the rest of it. Where someone that eats, sits in an office, they probably need to sort of keep the protein up, but maybe cut the carbs. Since we're on fire as well, one thing that people common mistake people make is they go to MyFitnessPal, they work out the numbers, and they feel like they have to do same numbers every day. The pro tip is work out your busy and not so busy days. So like, if you're in an office, don't make it so hard for yourself. Just, have the protein numbers lower, carbs, fat lower. But then on the weekends when you got time to cook and stuff, then catch up to your protein and stuff. Because ultimately, it's weekly. It's not just day by day. It's weekly, right?
Oh, right.
And if you're kind of working out to be burning more than you're putting in, ideally you work out your weekly numbers, and then each week you take off 5%, which works out to be about 50 calories per day, which is not much, right? So it's much easier to manage rather than, one day you crush it, the next day you have a disaster, and then you're just kind of trying to catch up. You feel shit instead of setting up low days, high days. So depending on your work, family, all the rest of it. So, and I think my steps can help you with that, kind of setting your different, doesn't have to be straight. It can be undulating to fit in your macros weekly, not just daily.
And plus, that's like a bigger, it's not all crammed into one day. That's and right. The anxiety, you're making the goal achievable by spreading it out. That's a good point. And like, for me, I just went off that was too overwhelming for me. So I just went on, all right, what makes me feel good? And I kept at it. And that was perfect. Like, my body felt good. I felt good. I didn't feel hungry. But I think at the end of the day, people are comparing to other people. Like you said, they're not taking in. I'm an office worker. That's a tradie. Also genetics, things like that. It's hard. And then they probably go, well, I need to do, and like all these people all the pro players put the diets online. It's like, well, I'm going to follow Ronaldo's diet.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, but you're different. Your activity load's different. He's training 3-4 times a day.
Yeah. He can sleep for 10 hours a day if he wants.
Yeah. He naps. He naps after like a session and all that. So I think you're right. Trial and error.
And this might be useful to people to know as well. Like, you just got to think. So macros, which is your fat, protein, and carbs. Think of that. That's just how your body looks. So macros is how your body looks. Micronutrients is how you feel. So that's your minerals and vitamins, right? And that's where like fasting can be a little bit controversial because you're not eating enough, so you're not getting your micronutrients, and that's why you might feel shit. Now, people say, oh, I feel amazing when I'm fasting, blah, blah, blah. But like, a question would be like, are you feeling amazing because, it's working, or are you in a constant fight or flight? Your body's under stress, so you're just like alert and you're ready to go, right? And that can only last so long before it all blows up. Right. So I just, to your point, like, eat and, either you measure on Whoop or just subjectively how you're feeling, as long as you hit your protein numbers, right, generally you're going to be okay. Like that's like, if you go to me, like, if you said to me, like, put a gun to my head and said, like, just give me one tip, I'd be like, just hammer your protein, just focus on protein, and we'll go from there. Again, it's not perfect, but it's probably much better than just smashing fat or carbs.
You taught me something actually a couple of days ago, didn't even know it, on your YouTube channel about creatine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did not know that creatine helps you sleep.
Yeah, so creatine is a bit of a trend at the moment. I mean, the supplement's been around forever, but it's got a lot more popular in the last couple of years. A lot more studies. It's the most research supplement. The joke is it's almost like a natural steroid. But one of the things they found with creatine, it's good for your sleep and your brain. UFC or any sort of concussion protocols now is like, if you have a concussion, if you get knocked out, they just put you straight on like high dose creatine to help you sleep, to start repairing the brain and stuff. So you don't have to be knocked out to get the benefits of sleeping well with creatine.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Run into a wall.
We don't endorse it.
But yeah, creatine it's a good little supplement. And again, like you do want to exercise with it, but you'll still get some benefits just taking it as a supplement. I mean, we want everyone to exercise, but
Yeah, of course. I thought creatine was just send the water to where you trained that day to give it a pump, and that was it. So your arms look big when you went out. That's what I thought creatine was.
you do get a pump. It does retain water, and a lot of females get a bit off it for that, but it's like some minimum, so it's, and look, to joke around is like when people refuse to take creatine, it's like, so you're refusing to take something that retains a bit of water, it's going to be good for your brain, sleep, muscle, so you don't want to do that, but you're happy to get on the piss.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
that, and we know that like piss is terrible for your sleep, liver, brain. So it's like,
Everything.
but that's the funny thing about fitness industry as well. Like people how they pick and choose.
Yeah, of course.
What's good, what's
I
bad.
think that's just people being insecure, and an easier option is to, like I said, go on the drink.
I found out that apparently people get addicted to gym supplements.
Yeah,
It's like a big thing. Like you don't know when to stop taking it, what to keep changing up, and you just get addicted to buying and trying new things.
yeah. It's a pretty like, I mean, ultimately everyone's looking for a magic pill, right? Everyone wants that magic pill, and then supplement companies have like the best marketing like things.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, so it's easy to wrap into it. I mean, there's certain supplements you can take 24/7. So creatine, fish oil, magnesium. But in certain things you want to be a little bit careful. You don't want to create what they call a vitamin dependency. So when your body starts kind of like getting used to it, and it struggles to produce it naturally or get it from the foods. So you do want to kind of mix up some supplements. For example, like vitamin D in Australia, like you don't need to take vitamin D all year round. In winter or if you're indoors, yes. But then in summer, like just get on the sun, 20 minutes, half an hour, it should be sweet. Like you don't want to muck around with that stuff.
Yeah.
So like people do get overboard with supplements and spend a lot of money. And look, and to be fair, like when I was really young, I used to be like all about, it's organic food, eat from earth, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no one eats perfectly, right? So you're going to have to get some sort of help. And if it's in a budget, like the worst thing that's going to happen about taking supplements, especially high quality supplements, you're just going to piss it out. So it's not the worst thing that can happen. Vitamin A is the one you have to be careful of. It can be toxic, but that's pretty hard to do.
What's vitamin A do?
Don't know, it just makes you feel good. It's good for immune system. I don't really know the full-on traits of it, but it's good. It's essential.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Get some vitamin A.
Wow, huge. Mate, Marin, thanks for that, man. Like, that was deep chat.
Love it.
Didn't expect it. We were just like, yeah, run with it. So there we go, people. Trial and error, and just record how you're feeling.
Well, yeah, you want something to measure, right? So have something to, that can give you a good measure of like sleep. So butter chicken experiment or whatever, pizza experiment. And then see how your sleep is, see how your sleep quality is, how your heart variability. You guys know what heart variability is?
No.
Is it the different stages of sleep and how?
So heart variability is HRV, not HIV.
Yeah, not that one.
But
I've got a high HIV score.
Yeah, you do.
So basically, in your heartbeat, the heartbeat goes do-do, right? So the space or the time between those beats is what heart variability is. So more variability you have, the better it is. So for example, if you're really stressed, like if you're like under a pump, your heart will go do-do-do-do-do, right? So it's
Less
like
gaps.
less variability. Healthy heart will go do-do-do-do, like it'll just kind of be really kind of like, there'll be a bit more variability about it. So that's basically what it is. The way I sort of educate people on it, it's like, think of it as also like capacity to deal with stress. So like higher your heart variability is, better you are dealing with stress. So the next question will be, how do I increase my heart variability? Lots of things affect it. So sleep, food, exercise, emotional stress. So like bad news, good news, like everything affects it, right? So that's why it's kind of good measurement. And then if we were going to talk about for the people like what success looks like, usually we will go, what's happening on inside. So we want to see your heart rate variability going up and your resting heart rate going down. So if that's trending in those directions, we're going good. And it's not going to be straight line. It's going to be all over the place. But like, things like alcohol will destroy your heart rate variability because it will destroy your sleep and therefore all the rest of it as well. So it's not just how much you squat or how many calories you burn. I think those two measurements are probably a very good measurements to keep an eye on how you're going long term. And there's a whole lot of stuff, data on it, like, with athletes, guys that got higher heart rate variability, they recover quicker the next day. They deal with stress better. For people that get diagnosed with cancer, heart attack, they recover quicker as well. So there's a lot of other stuff, benefits you should, to justify increasing your heart rate variability.
Yeah, huge. And that's why I got the Garmin. Remember I said to you I wanted the Garmin?
Yeah,
Does all that.
Garmin will have
I
it.
didn't bring it tonight, of course. I was on charge, but like...
Yeah, Garmin's like a great tool as well. It's got all that data. So
The sleeping thing, I'm obsessed with it, hey.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning like, did I get 100? But I've only got it once, the 100.
yeah,
Not that I'm too obsessed with it, but
it's good to chase, right? Like if you're hitting over the year, if you hit 80%, you've done well. You're gonna have your ups and downs, right? But like sleep is so important for your brain health, your your body, everything, mood, emotions, everything.
Yeah.
So we do want to protect our sleep. Like it's funny, like I guess generation before us, there was a kind of that attitude of like sleep's a luxury, which is just BS. It's like it's like no, it's really important. So I guess part of me as a coach, and I started doing newsletters now as well, like is like no, like we gotta change that,
that culture,
culture,
about it. Yeah,
right?
100%.
Like it's like, because it's like, I always joke around, like, let's go other way around. Let's our three of us are sitting here and let's figure out a way how to get someone really sick. Let's figure out a program to give someone cancer, diabetes, whatever. Like, what we'll do. So it's like, well, let's just don't let them sleep. That's like number one. Let's take the sleep away, right? Let's not feed them all the time. Let's just give them heaps of coffee, maybe just a bit of food just to keep them going, right? Let's put them under heaps of emotional stress, right? Let's keep them indoors. Like, let's just, feed them with social media, with all the negative news of what's happening in the world and stuff. Like, it's a pretty good recipe to get someone sick.
Fuck, it sounds like my life.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's like, if you were evil people that would like trying to get everyone sick, we wouldn't have to do much. Like, people are doing it, right? So it's, that's kind of the way I kind of usually program. I always reverse engineer it. What does it look like if I was going to go the other way around? Like, what would it look like if you guys were sitting here saying like, I want to get really fat, not muscle, just fat. It's like, okay, sweet. Well, don't exercise, destroy a BMR, don't move around, eat heaps of fat carbs, and don't worry about protein. So it's,
Still sounds like my life.
That's all right. This is what we're here for, Nick. It's not going to be like that forever, mate. Come on.
No, I know that. Don't you worry. It's fuck, I lost my train of thought.
mad.
That was terrible. That was terrible. Fuck, I completely lost it.
Come back to you.
We got to come back to it. We might
Getting
completely
people
jump
sick.
back into something.
So, Marin, let's get into actually how you started this whole journey to where you've come to now, because, obviously extremely knowledgeable. Your data insights are incredible, and we haven't got into what you actually specialize in. Would I be fair saying that?
Yeah, probably coaching is what I love. So,
Yeah. All right. So as a young lad, how did you start this journey into where you have landed this role and actually gone to the Olympics last year?
Yeah, so I think like most strength conditioning coaches or health coaches, you start off as a washed up athlete. So look, to be fair, and I thought about this a lot, I've always been obsessed with, I guess, physiology. Like I always thought it was really weird how you can like, from a young age, you can like drink this and you feel better, or you do a couple of chin-ups, you get stronger. And it was always really weird concept of like how we can do that, how we can get better. And like, even as a young, kid, it's like, okay, if I swim or run really hard, as hard as I can, well, then I can do a half pace for longer and still be faster than an average kid. So it was always kind of like, it makes sense. Started, water polo. I got obsessed with water polo when I was really young. Got into it, quite competitive. I went through, I got dropped from national team, New Zealand national team at an age of, 23, 24. And that was kind of like a midlife crisis. So I was like, what am I going to do? Life's over. So I thought I enjoy training. I do enjoy going to the gym, being fit, and the whole concept. Like, it'd be kind of cool to be a physio or be a coach. I did a half of sports science. I was a uni dropout, so I did half of sports science. Only reason I did sports science is because they had sports in it. But funny enough, now it's kind of pretty much what I do. So I went kind of like, it'd be cool to be a physio. So I spoke to a water polo physio and I kind of asked him what a pathway to be a sports physio is. And he basically said, you're going to have to go back to uni, finish your degree, and then you're going to have to work in a hospital with old people for 2 years. And I was like, what do you mean old people? Like, I want to work with athletes. Like, I don't work with old people. He's like, no, like, you're going to have to do your time type thing. And I was like, nah, stuff that. So I'll just become a personal trainer. I'll just start with that. So I did that. That was pretty easy to do. It was a 6-week cert to, get qualified as PT. One of the things that happened when I was as an athlete, I thought if I was bigger, I'd be stronger, I'd be a better athlete. So I managed to put on quite a bit of muscle. So I went from 85 kilos to 100 kilos, but nothing really changed in the water. So I was strong in the gym, but not. And that always kind of made me really curious. And then I kind of got into the whole TRX kettlebell route in the same time as I was kind of qualified PT. And that was kind of when whole functional training thing was boosting and stuff. So I was lucky enough to kind of get scouted by a company called TRX, which is those straps that you see in the gyms now. And they're sort of like, it might have been a YouTube video. I'm not sure how they found me, but they're sort of like, would you be interested in helping us rolling out a TRX education in Australia? So I was like, sweet, awesome, I love it. Anyway, I sort of met with those guys. It was like a 4-day intensive, learning how to use the straps and whatever. But it was a really humbling experience because the guys that ran it were like really knowledgeable guys from States that worked with heaps of pro teams and stuff. And they kind of brought me to the ground because I was of opinion that, I can train myself, so I can train anyone. And they're like, nah, like just because you can train yourself, like you got no idea how to train people. And that really hurt, being competitive and stuff. So that kind of put me a pathway to get better. So to go beyond PT, certificate, 3 and 4, whatever. And because of those TRX guys, like they also gave me an access of heaps of mentors. And it was like, just as internet was, you can sort of write an email, reach out to someone, and everyone was willing to help. So I kind of was really lucky to kind of come across a lot of mentors to teach me individual tools, philosophies, and the rest of it. So that's kind of all started. Fast forward, I opened up my gym in Rozelle, which is kind of specializing on TRX and kettlebells and kind of functional training. During that time, I was working with normal people, but I was working with like a few athletes because they kind of heard my story. They could relate to my story as well. They were getting hurt in the gyms. They were looking for something different. I was able to help them. So I got a bit of experience training athletes. COVID happened. So I sort of just went online, and then I got a call up by Water Polo Australia to see if I'm interested in doing the strength conditioning job. I was involved with water polo previously. Like I did get a call up before Rio Olympics to help out. So I kind of had some experience, and my name was in a pool. But then post-COVID, there was a lot of changes, and I got approached, and I was very lucky to get a gig for last cycle, which was Paris Olympics.
Now let's dig into that.
Dig into it.
Let's get into
Olympics.
I want to hear. Did you bump into Reagan?
I did actually. She was actually amazing. We were pretty close, like in a village, right? You sort of don't know what's really going on. Like you get news. We had TVs. You can get a bit of Australian news, but you're pretty close from what was really happening, like with her performance. Like to be honest, I didn't even see her performance. You heard whispers. Instagram was going off. And another thing that's kind of really cool about Olympics, especially being part of the Australian team, is like you're one team. So you're all together, right? So you kind of like, everyone got around it. So
everybody needs to win gold medals.
Yeah, but like she was getting, well, we didn't know at the time, but she was getting roasted, right?
Mm. Yeah.
But on Inside the Village, we all got around her because it was like, like she's there. Like you can't, it's easy to criticize her. And she tried to do something different, didn't work out. And, I actually think it worked out well for her, but.
Oh, 100% it worked out well for her. So, everybody knows who she is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic.
So can you name any other breakdancers?
No.
So
I thought it was more weird that breakdancing was a sport in the Olympics.
Yeah, so French one, like every Olympics, the new sports get trialed or get put forward. So breakdancing was the French, I guess, version.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
So in that village, is it like, are you guys off social media during that time, or is it just like you just locked in?
No, like, so. I mean, for us, our squad, our water polo squad, we sort of took an approach. For a lot of us, it was the first Olympics, so we only had 3 guys that were in the Olympics before, which was Tokyo, which was COVID Olympics, so it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
So we kind of took it. It's all new for us. We're not gonna put heaps of pressure. We're just gonna love it. We're just gonna just lean into it and just enjoy it, right? When it's time to switch on, we'll switch on. But when it's time to relax, just soak it all in. And that was playing group and staff as well. And I think it worked out really well for us. For all of us, for playing group and us. So we were on social media, you sort of flicking through it. But to be honest, you're also quite busy. For athletes, a lot of the guys in the men's team in Olympics, they're pretty focused, they're pretty locked in, so they kind of control how much time they were scrolling. Also, there was a lot of things going on that you don't want to be on your phone, like just walk around the village, food court, just sitting in Australian fair quarters, you're meeting new people, it's all happening. So it's kind of, you're not really, in a corner just flicking through your phone.
You're
So,
socializing.
yeah. So it's
No,
like
network.
it's-
You'd be stupid to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
doing
yeah.
like, what a waste of an opportunity.
Exactly. So, yeah. So like, yes, you flick through, check your media, social media and stuff, see what's going on. But a lot of times the phone was either in a bag or, elsewhere. And to be honest, like there was a lot of restrictions for everyone on what they can post and not post during the Olympics. So you just.
Easier not to.
Yeah, exactly. Just didn't want to get in trouble.
So when you go into the village for the first time, are you with the team, or is this a solo thing? Like talk us through it. Like,
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So for us, we had 6 weeks in Europe before we checked into Paris. So we actually started in Paris first week. We stayed in a place called INSEP, which is a French Institute of Sport. So we rocked up there, and that was like a whole new experience for us. It was totally different than AIS. It was full on. We were trained there with the French team for a week. The following week went to Germany. We went to Stuttgart, which was fun. We trained with the German team, but we had a bit of free time to go check out Mercedes Museum, which was awesome, and kind of explore the place a little bit. Then we had a tournament in Serbia in a place called Shabac, which is the middle of nowhere, middle of Serbia, but it was amazing just to go to a place that you will never go back. Like you just wouldn't want to go there, but the fact that we were there, got to check it out, it was pretty cool. And that's probably one of the things I do love about my job is that we do go to the most random places in Europe. So it's like you get to see some really random things. So anyway, from Shabac, Serbia, we actually had like a mini holiday that we gave the guys sort of 4 days off just to break it up. It's a long tour. It's like a bit of a juggling act. You don't want to burn out before you get to Olympics. You do want to enjoy it, but it's also very serious. So it's like finding the balance. So we decided to break the tour up. So halfway through, we went to Montenegro and we stayed in a place called Herceg-Novi, which is 40 minutes away from Dubrovnik. And for people that are looking for a cheap, nice holiday in Europe, Montenegro is like the best because you're getting Croatian vibes for half price. So it's like same stuff, but just no tourists. I mean, sorry, there is busy, but it's not crazy like Croatia is. So we there for 4 days, just kind of mini holiday, which is a really nice reset for everyone, boys and staff. From there, we went to Athens, and then we checked into the village. So when you land in Athens, obviously, you go to immigration, and they're just going to pull you to the side. Your Australian kind of like a guide pulls you down to sort of show you around. You get accreditation, which was very exciting for all of us. And you get on a bus and you drive to the village. The village was kind of out in Whoop Whoop, like it was a bit far away. So you're sort of driving. And because we were in Paris the first week, like 6 weeks before, and then going for Olympics, it was so different. The first week, everything was closed, they're barricaded. A lot of locals were complaining about Olympics, how it's going to be bad, it's bad economy, everything was bad. Then we went back to Paris 6 weeks when Olympics was about to start, and it was sort of different vibe. Everything was just clean,
No way.
amazing energy. And so you're on a bus, and again, we're all excited. You kind of get your sort of first piece of uniform, and you pull up, you get your bags, and basically you kind of walk around, and you can see the village. The village is, think of like Rozelle, White Bay. Just think of it like that. Heaps of buildings. It's all just locked up, right? And you walk, through security, heaps of security. You check in and you walk into the village, and it's just like, we spoke before. It's like a Star Wars movie. It's like a Candyland. It's like most beautiful, fittest people, different shapes, sizes, countries, uniforms, colors, and it's just all in this one place. Everyone's walking around, bikes, cars. It's just crazy. So we were all like, just frothing essentially. Just we walked past to walk to our kind of building. You get greeted, which is amazing. OSC does an amazing job of just greeting everyone. There's a lot more effort with Australian teaming, kind of including Indigenous. So there's a lot of Indigenous sort of rituals. So we, you sit down in what I call a yarning circle. So we all sit in a circle and tell stories and kind of introduction to how the village works, all the rest of it. Yeah, having a yarn. And then, so I had accreditation that allowed me to go in and out of the village, but I was actually staying in a hotel kind of 10 minutes away from the village. So, like the boys got in there, you got in your rooms. I went back to my hotel room. In your hotel room, it's like two massive bags of just your kit. And that was one like really kind of exciting moments because you open this bag and there's so much gear, like just everything, shoes, like it's amazing. So it's kind of like quite exciting. You're trying things on. And then in our team, we had a WhatsApp group. So like we had a junior guy that will decide what uniform you're wearing for the day. So it's kind of fun. It's exciting. So that was kind of like you check in the village, and we went to the village 3 days before opening ceremony. So one day to just soak it all in, get selfies, walk around, get a uniform on, just get out of the system. We had training the following day. Opening ceremony was another experience. And then we had like basically a rest day and a game day. So we decided to just have fun for those 3 days and then lock in for our first game against Spain.
Wow.
So,
that is wild.
Yeah,
like
it's cool.
Once in a lifetime, like, well, hopefully more for you, but like that in a nutshell is just, I can't even fathom like experience that from just your excitement and it's describing it.
It's crazy, right? You do pinch yourself and you're like, am I meant to be here? Like it's, you see some really famous athletes obviously, and you're looking out for famous athletes, and like in the food court is a bit of a thing, right? So food court's like this massive building, and you can literally get whatever you want in terms of food. Like different, there's an Italian station, there was like, Asian, like a Thai place, sushi, Japanese. So you can just go around and get anything you want, right? And it's massive. So you sort of people you can sit down next to anyone, eat, chat, whatever, but it's just really cool. Like that's kind of part of the whole village experience, actually going to food court. In Australian building, we're very lucky. And again, Australian AOC just does an amazing job. You could have food, coffee, anything you want in the building. Like there was a good setup. So you didn't have to leave Australian building. They do it on a purpose to protect athletes from getting sick, having to wait for food or whatever. But so you can kind of mix it up. So we mix it up. So we'll have like, breakfast and lunch in Australian HQs. But then just for fun, we'll go to the food court for dinner, and it's open 24 hours and just, have a yarn, meet people and chat. The big thing was exchanging pins. So like everyone wants to exchange pins. So it was a bit of a game, try to collect, different pins. So I think from memory, I saved all my pins for my daughter, but Australian pins were quite hot property because we only had like 6 pins and everyone wanted to keep there. It was like boxing kangaroo with Australian flag. It was pretty cool. But I think the Saudi Arabian pin was quite valuable, quite popular. And then obviously North Korea, a couple of those kind of like not exotic countries, but
those countries.
So I don't know how to say it properly, but they were ones to kind of try to get, which was quite fun.
What do you mean by pins? Like
literally pins you put on for your shirt or
like a badge.
A badge, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Really?
So, that's a big thing, right? Like trying to swap those with different teams, different countries, and collect them, right? So a lot of people, and actually it's funny as well, like it just reminded me, when you walk out of the village, there's kids just like hammering you, trying to get your pins. But then like after a few days, there'll be people set up, just random people, they're selling pins. So they will like, collect pins of athletes and try to sell them.
No way.
So it's like a bit of like, and
you want it back?
Yeah, exactly. And like, actually, I never did it. Like we thought about it, like jumping on eBay and see what the price is for Australian pin, or if you could have made some cash or whatever. So, but it was like a big game, big currency thing. So
That's sick. And when you went to the food court, was everyone decked out in their country's Olympic gear?
Yeah,
To sort of make it obvious.
Yeah, so you have to wear your kit. Like, I mean, every federation has their own rules. Us as Australian, we had to wear uniform non-stop. There wasn't too many people walking around mufti unless they were like officials or guests. So you get a lot of that sort of crowd. But yeah, everyone's kind of decked out, so you can sort of try to figure out.
Who was the coolest person that you met? To you.
Well, look, it's going to sound a little bit snobby, right? But like, just Australian athletes. It's probably maybe stereotypical, but Jess Fox was really cool. Like, her energy, like what you see on TV, on social media, that's her. Like, she's just amazing. Like, it's really hard not to fall in love with her. And one of the things we didn't realize, obviously she was a flag bearer. Opening ceremony was tough gig in a sense. Like, it's a long exercise. It's like, and it was raining and we were on these boats things, which was cool, but you're wet. But Jess basically had to do all the media commitments for Australia before the opening ceremony. Then you had to leave the village, get on a bus, get on a boat there for 5 hours, go around, come back. So she was doing that. She would have been, wet, cold for like 8 hours. Then she had to compete the next day and she won a gold. Like, crazy. Like, one of the, like the fact that she just committed, took it all in, selfless, like just here to represent a country. I'm a flag bearer, proud on, I just hammered it, and then just show up and win a gold. It's like
real athlete,
amazing, just professional, like just quite inspiring. Like,
think about that. Hey, like that's a thing. Them doing all those duties.
Well, the opening ceremony goes for like 6 hours. Doesn't
it took forever. Like, it was cool, right? So actually, famous people like we were on a bus. So there's so many athletes to get through. We were. So it was on boats going down the river, so which is pretty cool. So they had to load all the boats. So the boat will go down the river and it'll come past all the crowds and then Eiffel Tower and where the actual stuff that you saw on TV. But so Americans were last because they were hosting LA, so their next Olympics, and then we were second last because we were hosting the following Olympics, right?
Okay, yeah.
So we're on the buses. Anyway, our bus is full. We pulled up. The bus next to us pulls up. LeBron and NBA guys right next to us, and the boy is just very mental, and he's just massive, like, and just his figure, like, just right next to us, and we're like cheering, and a couple of American water polo boys in the bus, so they're cheering on us, and it was pretty cool.
That's sick.
So
that's awesome. The
king,
the king.
And again, like, I'm not a huge starstruck, like I don't get starstruck too much, but when you see him, it's like,
you're gonna get excited when you see him.
Different gravy, man.
Yeah. And look, actually, speaking of this, we've spent the first week in Paris in INSEP. Only found out the other day. I haven't watched it yet. There's a Netflix documentary about the basketball, the NBA team in Olympics. And
great documentary.
Yeah. So we were there at the same time and they were filming the apparently bit with French team. And I don't really know names, but there's a guy in the French team plays NBA, this massive, really tall, lanky guy. So he was doing rehab when we were there training in the pool. So he was doing pool rehab. And, you watch NBA. Like, I'm not a huge fan, but you pay attention.
Oh, I know. Do you know him? Wembanyama?
That's him,
yeah.
Right? We knew he's tall, but he's so tall. Like, he's amazing. Like, and it just, he was having a shower, and I was kind of going in the bathroom. So, like, when most people shower, it's like sort of head. Him, it's like belly button. Like, it's just free. And it's, you feel a bit creepy, right? Like,
you're gonna
staring
duck
at the guy. Like, trying to, like, not to be liked. It was like just, I mean this with, like, all respect, like, just like a freak show. And that's what I mean, like, with a Star Wars movie, it's like, you just see this freaky, it's just hard to, like, when you see it live, it's like, how can someone be so big?
Yeah.
The fighters at the urinals do nothing for him because he's too tall.
Mate.
Dude, he's like 20 years old. 19.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's massive. Like, real skinny as well, which also makes him look.
He'd still be growing.
Have you seen his flexibility? I'll show this video after, boys. It's crazy. He can go down in through his legs. Imagine being that tall and being able to bend down and do all.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll show the video after.
He can't swim, but just
okay.
Yeah,
we got that on him. You're tall. You're a superstar.
You gotta look something. You gotta something to make us feel better.
Yeah, exactly. He's got everything else.
Exactly.
Wow, what an experience, man! Far out.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, it was very cool. And like, yeah, talking about superstars, like, you know, I missed out on it, but Novak Djokovic came in the village a couple of times. A few of the boys got a photos with him, and again, another person that potentially gets a bad rap, whatever. But he was just amazing. Like I'll tell you a story, right? So we ended up beating Serbia by 5 goals the second game, which is a massive upset. Like we went in to win the game. We were confident. But to beat Olympic champions, that team, by 5 goals was like, we didn't... Like, if you told me that 2 years ago, I'd be like, please, like, stop taking drugs. Like, Anyway, so Serbia had a bad start. Losing twice is not a good thing. Olympics is really hard, a competition. Like, literally, you can just have a bad luck and be out. Like, it's so easy to miss out. So anyway, after our loss... or their loss from us, they called in Novak Djokovic to come in and kind of inspire the boys because he likes water polo. Serbia, big sport, water polo, tennis, soccer. And as he's walking, and Serbian building was close next to Australian building. So as he was walking to speak to Serbian team after they lost to us, to the coaches, so, Novak, do you mind taking a photo? No dramas, warm, polite, nothing. Even though he was there to patch up what we did to them, he still took his time.
That's incredible.
And he didn't have to.
No.
Good sportsmanship.
It's just, some people, like what you see is what you get. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are a bit maybe put it on, but Novak chest box, big ticks. Yeah.
That's insane. But like you said, for the country to be borderline humiliated, not by like on purpose, but just by the nature of the game. And he was called to do a job and still that's crazy.
I mean, some people would have been just like, just go away. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to talk to you right now. Like,
and obviously don't need to name names, but like in the village, was that majority of people with that same vibe, or was it quite intense at times with the competitiveness?
Look, everyone, like, I'll say 9 out of 10 people. Like, I'm sorry, there was no dramas at all.
Yeah.
Like,
but just feeling, not really something had to happen, but just feeling.
Look, the thing that, and this is probably not a feeling, that there's definitely rivalry between USA and Australia. And that was quite funny. There's a bit of tension between two nations. I mean, Americans, like their setup. So I think our setup was amazing, but they had like just on steroids setup. So they had like a massive building, like 3 times the size of our building. They all, had like a Nike house in the building. So like all the athletes got kitted out with a Nike.
Wow.
The whole experience, like they all looked amazing, right? But there's a bit of tension between America and Australian team with early medal tallies because Australia crushed it in week 1, right?
Yeah.
So usually you always counted on how many goals you win. So Australia was like, 6 goals or whatever. America had no goals. But they tried to change. Oh, no, it's not that. It's total medals. So to put themselves ahead of us. So it was all that. And look, we were G'ing them up because we knew that obviously as soon as the second week comes, track and field, they were going to start catching up. But it was good to kind of like, walk around and just, bit, not friendly trash talk.
Banter.
Bit of peacocking. But that was probably like fun. And there's definitely, when it comes to Olympics, USA and Australia, like definitely a bit of rivalry as well.
But it's good knowing that you guys did a gene up, knowing what was going to come, because they would have been like taking it so serious, like obviously in a friendly way. But that's funny, that's mad.
I think it's probably that big difference between 2 cultures, right? Like we can G up and
we love it. We don't take offense.
We live for it.
Yeah, we live for it. Like if you want to G up
Aussies.
someone, that's like you wait for it.
Well, they will find it really offensive, right?
Yeah.
Rude. And then because they take it seriously, then we get a little bit like, just relax, calm down. Like it's
So
So you got so many millions of
100%.
people, like just like, of course you're gonna do well. Like, if you're not doing well, like you're struggling.
Yeah.
So, but it was quite a successful Olympics for Australia. Like I think we ended up 3rd.
Yeah, it was 3rd.
Yeah, like it was pretty
High.
impressive. Like
Let's just confirm that.
yeah, there was a lot of gold medals that we didn't expect to get. That
Dude, it was like every day. It was just like crazy.
I don't even know who won the Olympics at the end of it, to be honest.
I say either China.
Yeah,
or USA.
China,
then USA, France, Australia 4th.
There you go. What was the difference between Australia and France?
If we look it up. What's this site? Cookies. Results. Bear with me, boys. I'm on the wrong.
I think he just went down too far.
You reckon?
I think so. I think I saw it. Yeah, so they're the
That's
golds there.
There we go.
Yeah, so America got
Oh,
40
no, America.
golds.
So USA, China, Japan, Australia.
Is it based off golds or total numbers?
Usually golds.
So, yeah, America, China, Japan, Australia, France.
Yeah.
Well, they got. Yeah, it's all listed in order anyway.
They got double us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, look, just to sound like a real big loser, right? Like sore loser, like amount of people they have and how much cash they have. Like,
Yeah.
But it's sport in America. Like,
Look at the money there.
college football games.
yeah.
It's a stadium full of people for kids playing at university.
Yeah.
We're going to get people rock up to university games.
No
You're going to get
way.
excited for it, but you're not. What do you mean you're not playing footy on TV? Then why are we going to watch you?
Yeah.
This is how it is.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, they got so many people and so many talented athletes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, just NFL, like anyone who plays NFL is essentially a freak.
Yeah.
Like NBA,
Oh.
freaks.
100%.
The data's off the charts, like
Yeah.
what they can do.
So, and then you go, well, people that are running on a track probably could have been in NFL and they just missed out. Or, so obviously swimming is very strong and traditionally they're very good at swimming, gymnastics. Like, I mean, they're good. They're good all around. Like, it's, yeah.
So after this experience, what's next for you?
So, we're not rebuilding. We're just starting a new cycle. So last cycle for Paris, it was a bit messy with COVID. So basically we had to play usually in water polo, you play world champs every 2 years. So you go world champs, nothing year, world champs, and then nothing year, then Olympics type thing. But because of COVID, we had world champs every year, then Olympics. So it was kind of all squashed up. And it was sort of essentially a 3-year cycle compared to 4 years. We're starting our new cycle, like a road towards LA 28. So this year we have World Championships in Singapore in July. So we're just prepping for that. So that's our big thing. We should have most of the guys from Paris still playing, so which is huge for us. Like in Paris, we had 9 guys in debut, so it was a lot of inexperience. But now we're starting to sort of build that, which is exciting. Hopefully with the experience we got from Paris, bit of luck with a draw. Hopefully we nail our preparation. Hopefully we get, we aim, we always aim to get to quarterfinals. It's a bit of a pass for us, and then anything goes. In terms of history, the best ever for men's water polo team is 4th at World Champs. So we want to create history as well. So not just make up numbers, but
get in the pool.
Yeah, get results. And look, the scary thing for us is, yes, we had like a pretty successful Paris. For those that don't know, we lost in penalty shootouts against USA in the quarterfinal, which was heartbreaking. And Serbia ended up winning the Olympics, the team that we beat for 5 goals. So it's so close, right? The scary thing is for us is that we can have way better preparation, more experience and everything in LA and not win the game because it's so close. And, you boys like your soccer. It's like, Soccer World Cup. It's just like, it's a pressure cooker. Like, it's just literally, you got to time it, bit of luck, and then off you go. So, we're hoping to time our run well for LA. And, we did a good job in Paris, but it's, it's going to be different. So, we still got to figure out how we're going to, work it out. We've got 4 years to do it.
Are you looking forward to LA? Do you think it'll be a good Olympics?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be interesting, right? Like Paris did an amazing job. Again, our Australian setup was amazing. What's going to be good for us, I think, it's going to be English-speaking country. Like, it does make a difference. Yes, everyone speaks English around the world, but you do have,
Still that bit of barrier.
Yeah. And look, to put a bit of shit on French, sometimes they just choose when they're going to be nice to you and they're going to be, a bit of assholes. No major dramas, but it's just their culture. They're pretty
stern.
Yeah, whereas I think Americans, as much as I make fun of them before, they're very good hosts, welcoming. They'll want to put on a show. I think they'll crush it. The thing that I'll be curious to see, and it's not my problem, and I'm sure they're going to solve it, is the transportation. Early in Paris, so they built like special bus lanes, heaps of security. It was bloody army all around the village. You're getting escorted by police and stuff. So you're able to, like, we only had one time when a bus driver got lost, the bus got stuck, and it took us like 2 hours to get from training to the village. But that was once. LA with traffic and everything else, I'm not sure how they're going to solve that. How they're going to transport athletes to the venues, training venues and everything else. So, again, not my problem. I'm sure they're going to figure it out. But that's probably the only thing that maybe they'll struggle with. But I reckon venues, crowds are going to be amazing. Like, they're going to crush it. Like,
and all the celebrities there too.
Yeah.
They'll be off chops.
Yeah, we spoke about Snoop Dogg, how he did an amazing job for promoting Paris. He'll do the same thing for America. America will get around it. Like, it's going to be good.
Kendrick at the opening ceremony.
They may have Kendrick.
So, yeah, I mean, even that, the small things, right? Like, you know, like, I mean, other opening ceremony experiences from the kind of being in it. You know, we were on a boat, awesome. We sort of went, you know, crowd cheering under the Eiffel Tower, fireworks. That was sweet. We didn't actually get to see any of the Lady Gagas and what went down. Like, actually, it's funny. The next day, you read all the bad press about, you know, them insulting religions, blah blah. But whatever. So it'd be interesting to see what America does if they just go, no, we're gonna 10 times that.
And just before we wind down, what's the biggest difference between playing and coaching? Besides obviously getting into there, is there?
Look, I like to say, as a player, you kind of get to control a bit more. As in, you kind of control. It's up to you. If you play good, you contribute a bit more. I like to say that, right? But even if I was playing, like, I wouldn't contribute. These guys are freaks. Like, it's the game's improved so much over the last, 8 years. So, everyone's just freakish. Like our team alone, the average height's like 6'5" or something. Like, they're freaks.
Shit.
So, like, yeah. So it's, I like to say, as a player, you get to control it more, but probably wouldn't contribute much. So I don't know. Being on a sideline, it's kind of nice just to be part of the journey and, helping the nerves. And hopefully I do help them a bit to enjoy and live out their dream. And that's kind of my purpose as well, helping them. I want to go to Olympics and be a player. Didn't achieve it. But hopefully my purpose now is to help those boys achieve their goal and win a gold medal. And, yeah, hopefully create history. Like, a men's team hasn't won a gold or any medal in Olympics. So I feel like we were relatively close to give it a good shot in Paris. So it kind of puts a bit more fire to do things better for LA, and we'll see. So
beautiful. Cool.
Look at this guy not blowing up in the electric chair.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's good. That's good. That's
Very
pretty good.
Well, we're going to get to Flaeva 4?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, off the cuff, Marin, Flaeva 4. Let's actually do water polo players, because do you know any?
I wouldn't have.
Let's put them on the map.
I know Marin.
Let's put them on the map. And right now look, if you don't want to do Australia,
this is your top 4 favorite water polo players of all time.
let's
You
do
can
that.
tell us who they played for, if they achieved anything great that people in the water polo community.
I got 4.
You got 4.
All right. I'll start with number 1 because it's, I guess, a legend of water polo, and some people might know it. There's a Spanish guy named Manuel Estiardi. He was 5'8", I think. One of the stuff. Not a very big guy. Not a tall guy.
So you could walk in the deep end.
Just, yeah. But he was a GOAT. So he played 6 Olympics for Spain, scored the most goals. But what's really impressive about him is water polo game has changed over the years. And Olympic cycle being 4 years, he's managed to play 6 Olympics and just still dominate those games.
when did he start? 16 or 18?
Yeah, fuck. Yeah,
I think he was 16 or 17. It was pretty young. Might have to check it out. So
It was 5'7" then.
yeah, Manuel Estiardi. Funny story about Manuel Estiardi. Now, actually, you guys are soccer fans. He's works for Man City soccer team. So
Really?
he's one of the. So you might be able to Google search it.
Oh, he works with Pep.
That's right. That's him.
Yeah, I was on the documentary. He was
There you go.
Yeah, the Man City one.
Yeah, right.
He's like in Pep's coaching team.
So I'm not sure if he's psychology or not sure what the role is for Man City.
Before we do water polo, not to take away from it.
No, go for it. Gives me more time to think.
He's head of player support and protocol. So I'm guessing inspire players. Yeah, more just a mentor.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Okay.
So I guess for the listeners that are soccer fans and maybe Man City fans, there's a bit of a water polo connection.
There you go. So he's like the GOAT.
I'll put him as a GOAT, yeah.
All right. Very good.
He's the Michael Jordan of water polo. We get it.
Yeah, I'll probably put him there if there was someone
Not
like
LeBron
that.
James. We said Michael Jordan.
All right, number 2. I'm going to go with a kind of player that I used to kind of... People might not agree with it, but player that I used to kind of froth on as a kid, look up to, is a Hungarian player named Tomáš Kasas. He was a bit of a pretty boy of water polo. What's cool about him, he played for a Hungarian team that won golds in 2000, 2004 and 2008 Olympics. And he was that bit of a superstar.
He's built.
Yeah, he's a big unit.
Some big fucking arms.
They are.
Yeah,
He almost looks like a crab.
Yeah, nice.
Bloody hell.
So I used to kind of look up to him a lot. Number 3 and 4. So is this my top 4 or is it just...
This is
Yeah,
your top 4, not what everybody else
Okay.
thinks. What's close to the heart.
We'd
for you.
input, but I don't know a single.
See, I wanna talk up my water polo boys, right?
Yeah.
And I've got 2 spots left, right?
Yeah.
And I know if they listen to this, there's going to be blow-ups. So I got to be really careful, right?
Yeah. You get him.
Yeah, so I kind of
Get
don't
him
want to
firing.
choose the 2 out of 13.
But who's putting in the work?
Well, they all are. That's the thing, right? I guess it's like picking your children, right? Like it's like I'm
Yeah.
gonna upset people.
Everyone's got favorites.
It's true. It happens. It happens.
You know what? I'm gonna go with a young guy, Marcus, who plays in Marcus Bullock Calf. I can't even pronounce his name. He's playing for the one.
This one?
Hey, here
Shout
we
out
go.
Marcus.
He's in your squad.
He's gonna play in Paris. Marcus is 21. Is he 21?
Yeah, it says 21.
Yeah, he's 6 foot.
He's built too.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's-
6'7". What's cool about Marcus? Obviously, a very young guy. Played at Olympics at age of 21, but he's now playing in Croatian club called Jadran Split and crushing it. So such a young guy to play for Croatian champions. Like water polo is a bit like soccer. They got Champions League, so he's playing for one of the top sides. So he's crushing it. Potentially he's going to be one of the goats of Australian water polo. He's got the potential.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't let that get to your head, Marcus.
Yeah.
Keep
bit of
working
Come
on
work.
over Panini and we'll sort
Yeah,
it out.
we'll slow you down. Don't worry.
Yeah, mate, 4th. And I do want to promote the boys.
It just makes you feel better. You will cop all of this, not us.
That's right.
That's right. We're just listening and learning.
We don't know what's going on.
You know what? I'm going to go with our left-hander, Luke Pavlard. And the reason I went with Luke Pavlard is, again, a bit of a goat. Had amazing Olympics. He's played for Barcelona in Spain for many years. Left-hander.
This
And
guy?
Yeah, that guy.
He looks massive too.
He's a big unit. And he's just signed to play for a club in Italy, Pro Recco, which is a bit of like, I'll say, Real Madrid of
Really?
water polo. So
Wow.
he's got a amazing future in front of him. And
Does my arm look like that when it stretches out?
he's tall. He's 6'7", and he's massively wingspan. And it's the one thing I'll talk about water polo players is that don't know who that is.
It's a member of
player.
parliament. The Real Madrid got to him.
Give him a shout out.
But like the wingspan, so they can create so much force and power with the shooting. And it's probably something that people don't appreciate is how hard they throw the ball. The TV doesn't do it justice. And there's that meme that like every Olympics should have like an average person, they should have like an average person in a
Sport.
pool to show how fast.
Oh,
they throw
right.
it, and, and how big they are, because you don't see in the water, you don't really see that height as such.
What's the speed kilometers per hour?
So for us, sort of 85 Ks an hour is pretty
85?
quick.
85
Okay.
kilometers,
Yeah,
arm through the water.
arm to the water, 7 meters away with a ball that's that's rubber, like it's sort of like a soccer ball, I guess, maybe. A bit
But
lighter.
baseball, which is just a little ball throwing, it's like what, 120?
Miles, is it 120 k's? Yeah, it must be 1 k's. Yeah.
120 k's,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're not that much slower, and you're battling the water
No, it's quite
with a bigger ball.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. And that's what like I always said, I want to
Why haven't the MLS hit up a bloody?
Fastest pitch is 105 miles per hour.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
I'll
like
say-
180 k's.
Yeah, what does it say for fastest water polo shot?
So 150 Ks is the
It's still pretty good.
baseball.
Oh, it's quick.
That's
yeah.
still over half, and you're in the water, bigger ball.
Oh, it's closer as well, and also a lot of randomness, and yeah, it can be
Women's
scary.
was 68.
Yeah, which is still pretty quick.
So it says fastest shot for the men is 96 kilometers per
Yeah.
hour. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be
nuts.
probably. There's a Serbian player, left-hander, Mandic, Dusan Mandic. He throws the hell out of it.
96.
Yeah.
They'll knock you out, man.
100%.
Oh, there's some goalies get concussed now. Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst is when a ball hits the post and it hits the goalie or someone, it rebounds, ricochets, because they don't expect it to go that fast. And
I got knocked on my ass like that in soccer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And look, I talked up Marcus and Luke, but I should probably give a shout out to a goalie like Nick Porter, who was probably a flavour of the Olympics because he gets really fired up and makes a block. And again, if someone's throwing the ball at you at 100 Ks and you block it, you should get pumped up about it. So Nick plays in
Yeah, fuck
Spain.
yeah.
Amazing goalkeeper, and just he had amazing Olympics. His stats first week was like 70%, saves, like, so freak. And again, he's another big dude, a big wingspan. So they're freaks, yeah. So
Yeah, sounds it. Definitely sounds it. Well,
Bloody hell.
we're going to wrap it up on that because I'm getting scared, Nick. I don't know about you.
If you throw the water bottle at us, mate, we're done.
All right, Marin, thanks so much for coming on and taking the time, man. Appreciate it. It was
super
what an
fun.
episode.
It was
Thank you
very
very
good,
much.
mate. Thank you very much for educating us on water polo.
Oh, we probably lost heaps of listeners, so sorry about that in advance. But
Nah, we'll be
we'll
fine,
gain.
mate. They'll get it. They'll get it. We've only got 6 anyway.
5 now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you next week.
Ciao.